Hey guys, Pankaj here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about solution for assignment 1. So those who have already solved is good. Those who have not solved and they got stuck somewhere, I think this video will help you. Okay, so let me share my screen. In fact, those who have already solved it, right, you can compare your solution with my solution. Okay, so first question is related to data type. So first is like write a Python program to test whether given input is an integer, or it could be string, or it could be any type, right? So how to check the type? So let's say if I define a equal to 2, then we can use inbuilt function. I've talked about this in first couple of videos. Okay, so you got integer type. Now how to fetch this particular string from the this output? Okay, so we have one attribute called let me just print it here, type dot double underscore name double underscore. Okay, so this attribute is going to fetch this particular name from the output. Okay, so this is exactly what you can use inside any of the if condition. In case you would like to run some part of program, in case given integer given input is integer type, right? So you can put a condition if this equal to integer type, then run this. So I'm just going to run print statement. For example, this belongs to integer. Okay, if doesn't belong to integer, then you can put else condition. Okay, that's how you handle this. Now next one is string type. So write a Python program that accepts a hyphen separated sequence of word as input and prints the words in a hyphen separated sequence after sorting them alphabetically. Okay, so first I'll solve this example, then we'll make it more generic. Okay, so I'm going to take a equal to this print a. Okay, so we cannot sort this because everything is joined with the help of hyphen, right? So this is a single word. So to sort them, first we have to separate them out. So how to separate? A dot split with hyphen delimiter. Okay, since it is going to return a list, so I'll just store in the list op. Yeah, so you got this, right? So now this is list type. So in list we have one method called sort. So op dot sort. So by default it will sort, and let's print op. Okay, so it will sort based on like which word comes, like it's kind of dictionary sorting, right? So in dictionary, first letter will be like first alphabet A, B, C, D. Based on that it will be sorting. So once you get this, you need to join them back, right? So what you can do is, now we have a string method, right? So how to do that? I want to join them back using hyphen. Now let's say join with what? This, right? Hyphen. Okay, and joining with what? List, right? So what is my list? op. So sorry, I have already given the delimiter, right? So under join you can provide the list. Okay, so this is what is expected output. Okay, similarly you can write a function to get the input from user, like using input function, and then apply that function. Internally you call the split them, again join back using this. Okay, next one is write a Python program to convert given sentence into a stream of 8-bit binary data. Okay, so first let's see how to get the binary of any character. Okay, so let's say we have a equal to a. Okay, so to get binary, you need to get the ASCII code of that particular character. How to get ASCII? We have direct function, inbuilt function called ordinary or ORD, and I want ASCII of a. Okay, so it is going to return 65. Once we have the number, then you can convert this into binary. Okay, so let's say I'm just giving ASCII this. Now we have direct function called bin, which is converting to binary, and I want to convert to ASCII. Okay, so first of all, it looks like it is showing green, means it is already defined keyword. So I'll just use ASC shortcut of ASCII, convert this. Okay, so it is going to represent in the binary format using 0b. It is nothing but binary representation. Okay, now what I want is 8 bit. Does it have 8 bits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So it doesn't have 8 bits data. So what you can do? You can do zero padding. So since this is part of output is nothing but string, so under string we have something called z fill. So I want to fill with 0 by maintaining the length of word as 8. Okay, so if it is any it is having any sort of any character and not maintaining 8, then it is going to add 0. Okay, so what is the output now? Yeah, since it is already 8, right? So first we need to remove this 0b. So what I can do now, since it is string, let's do the slicing. So from slicing, I want to remove these two because it is not required. I want to have only 8-bit binary data that is starting from here. Okay, so 0, 1, and 2 onwards. So you got this. So how many bits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now under this, I am going to fill with 0. So apply Z fill with 8 bits. Okay, so now you see here one extra 0 is appended. If you want to maintain 16-bit data, just add 16. So it will add all prepend. It will prepend all zeros for the given output. Okay, by maintaining the length as 16. Okay, so that's how you are going to solve it. So this is the basic. Now let's convert this one. So write a Python program to convert given sentence into stream of 8-bit binary data. So how to do that? I'm going to use a equal to this. So let's use list comprehension. That will be better. So for char in a, write a. Sorry, char. Okay, so every character it is getting separated. Now I want the ASCII of this character. So what we can do, ord of char, you got ASCII of those character. Now from this I want to have binary of each data. Okay, so I got binary of each character. Now from this binary data I want to separate 0b, right? So from 2 colon onwards, fine. Now you got this, and I want to maintain 8-bit data, right? So some might be slow. You see this particular part. So it is having only 6 character, right? Okay, similarly, some will have less. So goal of this question is to maintain the 8 character, right? So what I can do, I can do z fill 8. Now length will be same for all the character. Now next job is to join them, right? So since output is list, what you can do, you can join them together by having hyphen or just put a space. Okay, dot join, and join needs one list of characters. That's how we solve it. Okay, so you can see here the power of list comprehension. In single line you have to solve almost all the steps. If you would have done using for loop or any other thing, right, I think another 3 or 4 lines of code you would have written. Okay, so that is the solution of this. Now let's go to the list. Write a Python program to check list is empty or not. So you know how to check the empty list. Let's say you have created a list. You can check length if using length function equal to 0. Pretty simple, right? Using use of length function. Next one is create a list which contains number 1 to 10. So of course there are multiple ways. You can simply define 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Correct? Okay, this is one way of defining. Another way is a equal to range. It is going to create a iterator. Okay, so range, let's say 1 to 11, because the last digit will be excluded, so that's why I have given 11. Okay, so this is nothing but your iterator. I can convert this to list, so anything is fine. Using slicing after filter even and odd number for given range 1 to 30. Okay, so let's say I have some number a equal to list range 1 to 31. Okay, let me print it. So what I want using slicing even an odd number. Okay, so since it is starting from 1, so what I can do is you take a start with 1 colon 2. So what it is giving right from 1 index, right? This is 0, this is 1. So from 1 every second element I want. So by default you'll get all the even numbers. Okay, this you can do only when your numbers are in sequence. You start from 2 or 0. Okay, so this is how you filter even an odd number if given numbers are in sequence. If it is like random number, then you are not going to use this solution. This is not going to work. You need to use some for loop, then modulo 2 equal to 0 and all. Okay, so create a list of 10 number using list comprehension from above output. Okay, so I think this is very much similar. So what I can do now, for I in range 1 to 31, print I. Okay, so yeah, 1 to 30 I got. Number using list compression from above output. Okay, 10 numbers I want, so I can use 11. Okay, so this is the use of list comprehension. Now multiply each item of list 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7 elements, right? So every element should get multiplied by each element, or it could be 1 to 1 also. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll multiply each number from, let's say, first number with each element, second number with each element, right? So I can use to for loop. For I in range I in, let's say I have L1 equal to 3, 4, L2 equal to 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? For I in L1, for J in L2. And let's do proper formatting. So this L1 multiply by L2 equal to dot format. So we have I, then J, I multiply by G. Okay, so you will take the first element of L1, that is 1, and multiply with 4, then 5, then 6, and 7. That's what you are getting. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. Using list comprehension, I can also do that. But I would suggest, please, you guys do that. I'm not going to provide that solution. Okay, next one is while performing our operation, filter even an odd number from result and store them in a separate list. So here you will see even an odd number, right? So we would like to filter even an odd number. So let's use the same program. Okay, we need to filter them, right? So what I can do, and store them in a separate list. So what I can do, I can use even equal to empty list or equal to empty list. If I multiply J modulo 2 equal to 0, means it is even number, right? So let's use, instead of printing, what I will do, even dot print I into J, else odd. Even numbers slash n odd numbers dot format even, odd. Okay, so out of this, you have these many even numbers and these many odd numbers. Okay, so this is the way you solve it. Now make sure to remove duplicate from resultant list. Do we have duplicates? Yeah, we do have something 12, 12, right? So how to solve that? Let's use this, solve something. So let's find out whether it is even or not. Okay, and after that, and I into j not in even. Okay, if not, then only you should do that. If it is, then it will just ignore. So let's see if it is ignoring the duplicate. Yes, you see here we got 12 two times, right? What else we have two times? 4, 6, 8. Yeah, only 12. So only one time it is come. Okay, and what you see here, what is happening? Odd number is going under this, right? So here also we have to give some condition. If, then only it will make sense. Not to be done here. I'll do here. If not equal to j and I is not in even, this is not required. Okay, so this is required only when, let's say, even number is also getting added, because here we are not checking condition, right? So whatever is skipped out here, it will be added to odd number, okay, which is not true. That's why we are putting this condition. Okay, so that's how we solve it. Let's see the next one. Using iter function, print only even an odd number of list between 1 to 10. Okay, so this is nothing but, let's say you have a list range 1 to 100. Okay, I'm going to create one iterator using iter function, iter a. Let's see what iter shows. Iter is holding one iterator object at this memory location. Okay, so how to get the element from the iter object? We have something called iter dot next. No attribute next. Okay. Yeah, so if you keep running, it will keep fetching the next element and it will provide the output. Okay, so this is what we have to do. So we need to filter even an odd number, right? So what we can do, if next iter modulo 2 equal to 0, for I in ITR if I modulo 2 equal to 0, then print I. Int object void is not a table. Okay, so oh, this is integer, right? So I cannot use this. In is required for a table, but this is not a table. It is already fetched one integer. So we have to look for another solution. So what we can do is keep iterating over this object. So let me just put it in this way. If op equal to next itr, right? Print if op modulo 2 equal to 0, print op. Okay, so let's run it. Even number 2, the next will be odd, so it is not going to print. It is going to print only even numbers, right? So that's how you iterate. Okay, next one is write a Python program to create a list by concatenating a given list which ranges from which range goes from 1 to n, right? So let's say you have two lists p and q. One list is holding p and q character and n equal to 5. So using given number, you should be able to append all number from 1 to 5 to this p and q. So it will be like p1 q1 and p2 q2 up to p5 and q5. So let's see how to solve it. So I'll use a equal to p, then q, n equal to 5. Okay, so what I'll do for and create a new list. And I have to append here, right? So for I in range 1 to 6, because 1 to 5 I have to take, so I'll start from 1 and go up to 6. So it will be excluded. It will be 1 to 5. Now for each list, for in A, for each character, this should get appended. So new dot append, what to append? Character with I, right? So I will be integer. So I'll do character plus, I need to convert because you cannot add string, integer, and string, correct? So it needs to be converted. Integer needs to be typecasted to string. So this will be I. Okay, I think that's all. Need you see here. So first it will take number 1 and it will iterate over p and q. So first p1, then q1. It will keep appending, then it will iterate with next number 2, again p2, q2, and so on. Okay, so that's how we solve it. Next one is write a Python program to find second largest number in list. So let's say you have given a list equal to, so 23, 67, some random number, okay, 89, 90. Okay, so write a Python program to find the second largest number in the list. So there are so many ways. So the best and shortest way is you apply sorting over the given list. So let's say you have this. Now a dot sort. So since it is going to sort and original list will get modified, I'm going to print it back. So you will get 23, 34, 67. And what I want is second largest, right? So it is in ascending order. So just take the a minus 2. So from back it is taking second largest number, that is 89. Okay, you can use indexing and get it done. Okay, let's go to dictionary. So write a Python function that accepts non-spacing string from user and calculate the number of uppercase and lowercase letters. Okay, so let's write a equal to, in this case I'm asking user to input something, enter set of non-spaced characters. Okay, and after that I'm going to calculate whether given set of characters having these many number of uppercase and lowercase, and I'm going to return as a dictionary. Okay, so a will be this. So I'm just going to write some random number, this. Okay, so I have to filter out how many lowercase and uppercase, right? So you guys should know like what is the ASCII value of lowercase letter and uppercase. So let me get ASCII value of ordinary a, ord of a, that is 97. It goes up to z, 97 to 122, right? So let's form a condition here. So I'll use lowercase equal to 0, upper case equal to 0, and it equal to this. Okay, low and up dictionary for char in a. if ORD of A is greater than 97, greater than or equal to 97, and ORD of A less than or equal to 122, then increment lowercase plus equal to 1. Else, so remember guys, right now I'm taking only character, right? But user may enter number also and some special character, right? So count may go up and down based on those characters. So let's put an exact condition for uppercase as well. So what is the uppercase? Starting with 65, ending at 90, right? So 65, and this should be 90. And what to do? This will be uppercase plus 1. And finally you add, where is dictionary? Low, up, okay, so expected character by string of length 21 we got. So I think this should be char. Okay, something else is missing here also. Okay, so let's print the final dictionary. Yeah, so total lowercase 10 and uppercase 11, right? So let's make it very quick one. I'm just going to add everything here. Okay, this is this, and you enter some special character numbers also. Okay, see what is happening. It will give exactly lowercase and uppercase. It is not going to count these special character, and that is why this condition has been put. Okay, let's go to next one. Write a Python program to count the number of character in string google.com. So this is very simple one. So, and output has to be in the dictionary format. So let's use dictionary comprehension. Okay, so what we can do now, for char in first I have to store it somewhere, or you can directly write inside dictionary comprehension also. For char okay, so I'm going to use char and use the character and get the total count. So we have something called char a dot count char. Okay, so G is 2 times, O is 3, and so on. This is how you use it. So this count is nothing but it's a method of string. Okay, next one is write a Python program to concatenate following dictionaries to create new one. So I think in Python tips and tricks part 1, part 2, I have already talked about this, but let's see how to do that. So I'm going to show all the methods. So dict1, use d1, d2, and this is d3. Okay, so let's talk about print d1, d2, and d3. Okay, so I can create another dictionary, let's say d4, and in this I can give double star d1, double star d2, double star d3, and print d4. So this is one way of concatenating. Okay, and creating the new dictionary. You can update dictionary also by giving d1 dot update then d2, correct? So that original dictionary will get modified. So whichever way you want, you can do based on the need. So write a Python program to add key to dictionary, right? So how to add, I think you guys already know it. But let's say I want to update d4, so you can use d4 dot, let's say, new key equal to 1000. Then your d4 will be, if key is not existing, it is going to append. If it is existing, it is going to override the previous value. Okay, that's how you add it. Now condition and loops I'm not going to explain separately because it has been already used in some of the program. Okay. Now file handling also, I have given this particular example under file related video. So I would suggest please watch it and handle it. If you still have doubt, I think you can put your query in the description box or comment box. I'll help you. Function modules also I have already explained. So you can write a small function and just call it wherever it is required. Okay, so nothing is new. I think I have already explained these things under function and module video. Please use that. So let's talk about regular expression. Okay, so write a Python program to search 3-letter strings in a given sentence. I think this also I have shown you, but let me just repeat this once again. So to handle this, we have to import RE module. Okay, and in this particular string, we would like to search only those letters, those words which is of length 3. Okay, so A equal to this. Now I'm going to use search object using RE dot search. And how to get 3-letter word, right? So for 3 letters, you have to have 3 letters. So this is one way to do that, or you can write exactly 3. Okay, and word will have boundary, right? So boundary will be either dot or, and then the dot will be there like this, and in between they will have spaces, right? So to get that boundary, we will use one descriptor, that is /b. So dot, if any match is found, it will return group. So where is that A? Okay, nothing is found. Okay, so it is able to find the word, but only one, right? So I would like to find all. So how to do that? So I can do by removing this first and just use find all. Okay. Okay, so it is going to return the list of all 3-letter words. That's how you solve it. Now write a program which takes input from user to enter valid email ID and return the email ID if it is valid or not. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you how to write the pattern, and later you can add in the if condition, if it is valid or not. So let's take one example here, how you can form the email address, right? So you will have something called, let's say, abc dot def. It may be capital letter, but all email will be small letter only, right? And ghi 123 at, let's say, gmail, or maybe something like xyz xy.za.co.in, anything, right? So this kind of email ID will be valid. So how to write a pattern which will cover almost all kind of possible combination for this email ID. So what I'll do, so dot re dot carch only print so. Okay, so first we know it will contain all the alphabets, right? So I can have alphabet maybe capital or small, right? So small a to capital A, small z to capital Z. Okay, then followed by dot. So since dot is special character, right, that is meta character, so it needs to be converted to literal character by using escape character. That's why I've used slash. Okay, and there could be so many things or so many character, right? So along with that, number can also be there. So I can put 0 to 9. These are character classes which will cover all A to Z, capital A, small, and 0 to 9 number. Okay, then followed by dot, then it can have a number, right? So I can use plus. So let's see it is able to find or not. Yes, up to here it is able to find, correct? So you can write anything and definitely it is going to find, but you remember I have not given at ABC, DF, GHI. Okay, there is something called underscore, right? So this also needs to be matched. Okay, so up to here it is fine. Now we have at the rate. So let's use at the rate. It is able to find. After that, there could be again n number of characters, right? There could be some numbers also. Let's say j2.co.in. Okay, so we have to take care of those characters. So similar kind of character we can write. So A to A, then Z to Z, 0 to 9. Okay, followed by dot. But there could be a number, right? So we have to use plus. So now you see here A, B, C, D, F, Z2.co.in. Now let's try to test by using another email ID. Let's say there is no number. And here also there is no number. xy.com. Will it work or not? Yes, it is taking that. Okay, so I think this could be the best optimized email search pattern. And you are getting SO object means you can put a condition, it is a valid email ID if you are able to find out. Okay, so that's how you search. So I would suggest please write this pattern and try to manipulate this particular variable by giving so many different kind of email ID and see whether this pattern is working or not. In case it is not working, I would suggest go and modify. But this is the general idea. That's how you write the pattern. Okay, so let's see the next one. Write this small program to find a valid IP address, right? So this will also be very much similar. I'll just take the small example and I'm going to use for IPv4, that is 4 set of characters will be there. Okay, so here IP address how it looks. So let me just write 10.72.89.250. Okay, so remember guys, this number will go up to 0 to 255. In any before dot, whatever number you see, it can go from 000 to 255. Okay, so you need to write the program in such a way that you are able to fetch all the groups, and each group you can validate whether number is falling between 0 to 255 or not. If it is, then it is a valid email address, valid IP address. So what I can do, I can write a pattern. So I can have, I'll make a group, okay? So /d, it can go up to 3 digits because 255 could be maximum number and 0 could be the minimum number, right? So for these two, I will put second question mark for second and third. But assume that you have 0. So these two will not be valid, right? It may be out there, it may not be there. For 255, this will be there. And after that, we have dot. So since dot is special character, I have to escape its meaning. And again, I'm going to use this particular thing. Then again dot, again dot, again this. Okay, yes, it is able to find out. So instead of printing this, I have to print groups. Okay, so once you're able to find a group, right, iterate over this group, do the typecasting and check each number whether it is falling between 0 to 255 or not. If it is, like all, once you validate 0 to 255 for all the groups, means your IP, given IP is valid IP address. Okay, so most important thing is this particular pattern. You can still optimize by using some character class and by using some plus operator or something like that. Okay, so I think you got the idea how to solve this. I'm not going to write if condition at all. I will leave it up to you guys. If you have any question, then put in the comment box. Okay, so let's see the next topic, that is exception. So write a program to write something in a text file which is not existing. Handle the exception gracefully and write the output. Okay, so let's say I'm just going to write a program. So open, and I'm going to write the file, right? So in case you are going to write, if file is not existing, it is going to create a file. So you will never get any exception. So I think I should change the program. Read a program of a text, read a text file which is not existing, right? Then you should gracefully exit instead of throwing the exception. Okay, so what you can do is open, let's say test1.test file object print f0. You see here it is throwing file not found error, right? So what you can do basically to handle this kind of condition, you can put a try and except block. So those who doesn't know what is try and except, I would suggest go to exception video. Except I'm just going to make it short, okay, so that you can just handle it properly. So I'll just put file not existing. Yeah, instead of throwing error, you can just put file is not existing, or you can handle as file exception as error. Dot format error. Sorry for the typo. Yeah, no such file or directory test1 exception is thrown. Okay, so yeah, so if you are going to handle any kind of file operation, right, I would suggest to put under try and except block. That's how you handle it. Okay guys, so that's all for today. I hope you like this video, and wherever you got stuck, I think you got the solution by watching this video. So I would suggest please watch the video again and try everything in parallel in your notebook. If you're not able to understand something, then put your comment in the comment box and I'll definitely help you. Okay, thank you so much guys. Have a nice day. Those who have not subscribed and liked my video, please do that. Thank you so much. Bye bye.